Hey guys, okay, so this video is going to be a video talking about classics, and I'm sorry I was looking over there, I was looking at this pile that I have right next to me, but this is going to be talking about classics, and specifically it's going to be talking about classics of two different authors. I basically was kind of thinking about all the classics that I own, and how many I own by the same author, or authors plural, and so I decided that I would love to take certain authors and read them or read their works in chronological order, by publication date. And some of these authors, I'm definitely not going to be reading all of their work. The main one I can think of is Dickens, but I do have a good chunk of his books. Like, I would say I probably own 7 of them right now, and there's a few that I am going to put on either my Christmas or my birthday wish list. And I would just love to start at the beginning with him, because I think I've only read, the only one I've read by him all the way through is Nicholas Nickleby, and it is one of my favorite classics, and I love it. But since that's the only one I've read all the way through, I figured that now would be a great time to kind of start at the beginning, instead of, because I was intending to either read Tale of Two Cities or Bleak House or Little Dorrit next, but then I realized that I really wanted to read them in chronological order. And the other author, at least in this video that I want to talk about, that I'm going to do the same thing with, is George Eliot. Now, for George Eliot, it's going to be a vastly smaller pile because I only have 3 of her works. I believe she wrote 7, I think. And yeah, so I'm only going to be reading 3, because they're the only ones I own, because I used to own Mill on the Floss, but then I just didn't really care about it. I realized that I only bought it because it was George Eliot, not because I actually was interested in the synopsis. So I gave that one away. But I do want to read the other 3 that I own by her, and I am also considering reading Romola, but I don't currently own that one, so I might get it from the library, or I might try to buy it. I don't know. But I do want to talk about Dickens first, and actually I just realized that I left one out of this pile, but I think it's right behind me, so I'm just gonna scoot for a minute. There we go, I found it. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna show you these, sorry, my hair, in chronological order, and unfortunately I feel like if I try to read the, like, each summary or synopsis for each of these books, this video would be way too long. So basically, just if you don't know what the book is about and you would like to know, just shoot me a comment down below, and I will let you know what the synopsis is. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is The Pickwick Papers, and this was Dickens's first novel that he had published when he was 24. I don't know how long it took him to write this. I don't remember when he started writing it, but it's gorgeous, and it's also huge. Like, for a first novel, this is insanely big for a first novel. But this may have been one of his that was serialized. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this one because it seems like more of one of his lighthearted plots and characters, or some more of his lighthearted characters, rather than being darker like some of his later works. And I think it'll be really interesting not only seeing how his writing develops, like his style, and the quality of his writing, but also seeing how lighthearted this is in comparison to later works. Yeah, this one has cricket bats and balls on the front, because I believe there is a cricket club in the book, so that's really cool. So yeah, very excited to get to that one. And then I want to reread Nicholas Nickleby, because I love it, and so I naturally don't want to skip it. And I'm very interested to see if I love this as much the second time reading it as I did the first time. The first time I read it was junior year of college, which was at this point 4 years ago. So yeah, I want to see if I feel the same way about this. And then I want to read The Old Curiosity Shop, which just sounds like I'm really gonna like it, and the heroine sounds like I'm really gonna love her, and this one has cards on the front because the grandfather in this, the main character's grandfather is I think he has a gambling addiction. Well, he is a gambler, and then I think he is a bit addicted to it. So yeah, this will be good. And then for all of these, I'm going to be trying to find videos or movies that have been made for them. I own the 2002 Nicholas Nickleby film, and I love it. And the film is actually the reason why I read the book, because I saw the film probably when I was like 14 or 15, and that made me want to buy and read the book. And then Christmas Carol. I have tried to read this pretty much every Christmas for the past like 4 or 5 years. And every Christmas I accidentally start it too late, and then I don't have time to finish it, and I get like a third of the way through. Because reading this book after Christmas, it doesn't ever have the same feel, so I never want to finish it if I can't finish it by Christmas. So this year, well, actually not this year because it's not on my list, but next year I'm going to try to read all 3 of those and this one next year, and I am going to start this like 2 weeks before Christmas to make sure that I finish it. So, yep. And also for the adaptations of Christmas Carol that I've seen multiple, like tons of movie and TV adaptations of Christmas Carol, which is why I love the story so much, even though I haven't actually read the book all the way through. But my favorite adaptation is the TNT one that I believe was from 99 or 2000, and it stars Patrick Stewart as Ebenezer Scrooge, and it also has, oh gosh, it has a lot of other good people in it, but I can't bring them to mind right now, but it is a really, really good adaptation, and I highly recommend it. Next up, we have Bleak House. And this, I started watching the miniseries, and I was loving it, but then I stopped because I realized that I really wanted to read the book first. So, I stopped there, and then I think I actually started it over again and started watching it again, but then I made the same decision. I don't know. But yeah, so I would really love to read the book, so that I find out the ending of the story before I see the end of the TV adaptation. But from what I saw of the TV adaptation, I just loved the story. It sounds so intriguing, and the miniseries had such a good cast. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And then the one that I think I'm going to love best of all of these is Little Dorrit, because I saw this miniseries all the way through. I don't know why I didn't have the same thought with Little Dorrit that I did with Bleak House, where I wanted to wait and read the book, but instead I just marathoned the whole thing. It was one of those situations where once I got about 2 episodes in, I was completely hooked, and I knew that I had to finish the entire thing. And the adaptation is so good. It has Claire Foy as Amy Dorrit and Matthew McFadyen as Arthur Clennam, and it just, oh my gosh, it was so cool. So I'm really looking forward to the book, and I'm hoping that I love the characters and the story just as much in the book as I did in the TV adaptation. And then I'm pretty sure this one is after Little Dorrit. I hope it is, but it's Tale of Two Cities, because I tried to put all these in the order that they were published in, and I can't remember if Tale of Two Cities is before or after Little Dorrit, because when I put this pile together, I couldn't find this, and then of course it was like right there the whole time. But yeah, anyway, I'm pretty sure this one's after Little Dorrit, and so I'll be reading this one, and this is the one that, or one of the ones that I'm most excited to read, because it's a book where I've just seen and heard so many references to it in books and TV shows and movies. And unfortunately, it's one of those books where I already do know the ending because I actually saw the Wishbone episode when I was really little, and that's what first made me fall in love with this story and really want to read the book. But at the time, I think I knew that it would be too much for me at the time, because I mean, I watched Wishbone when I was like 7 years old, like from when I was 5 to when I was like 7 or 8. So I think at the time I realized that it would be too big of a story for me to handle. So, but yes, now I have it and I really want to read it. And then now on to George Eliot. Luckily, the first one that she published that I own, the first one she published was actually Adam Bede, but I don't own that one. I might read that. I'm not really sure. The synopsis sounds kind of sad, and I don't know if I could handle that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe try to watch the film, and then if I enjoy the story enough as a film, I will then read the book. But it sounds really sad, so I just don't know if I can handle it, even though, like, tons of these Dickens books are just really sad, but I don't know. But luckily, the first one that I own by her is a really little one. It is Silas Marner. And for this book, I had the same situation that I did with Tale of Two Cities. This was a Wishbone episode that I saw when I was really little, and this was one of my favorite Wishbone episodes. It just was so great, and it made the book sound so cool. And I finally got this, I think when I was in college, and for some reason I still haven't read it. But yeah, I'm really glad that the first one of hers that I own is quite a short one. It's only, it's not even 200 pages, it's like 180 something with an afterword, so that's good. So yeah, start with this. And then we have the beast that I'm terrified of, and that is Middlemarch. I love this cover. It's beautiful. It has all the cameos on it. I think they're cameos or silhouettes or something, but they're gorgeous. And I think this is just to do with the time period and all of the different characters that are in this, and I think that's why there's all these cameos and silhouettes around it. And I am looking forward to this, but I am slightly worried because people whose reviews I've seen of this, who I know still really enjoyed it, say that parts of this book are really boring. Because it is so long, it gets really descriptive. So yeah, I'm slightly worried, but I'm still hoping that I'm personally going to love it. But yeah, that's what the back looks like, and then the sides. And yes, I'm very much looking forward to this. And again, I will be watching the film adaptation from the 90s after I read this, because it has a really good cast in the film, so hopefully I'll love it. And then last but certainly not least, the one that I'm probably second most excited to read is Daniel Deronda, because again, I know that there is a kind of early 2000s, instead of the late 90s, it was an early 2000s adaptation of this, and it has an amazing cast. It has Hugh Dancy and Hugh Bonneville and Rama Ligari and Jodie May, and it just sounds like such a great cast. And to be honest, I bought the book to read specifically so that I could go ahead and watch the film. So yeah, but I am really looking forward to this because it sounds like I am gonna like this a lot better than Middlemarch, but I'm still hoping to like Middlemarch, so we will see. But yeah, those are the classics that, or those are the authors where I own multiple classics by them, and I just want to read them in chronological order. And some authors, I feel like there are 2 or 3 more classic authors where I do own enough of their works to go all the way through them chronologically, but I feel like I should make these videos in parts, so I'll probably do a part 2 soon, and show you guys some more authors that I want to read in chronological order of what I own of their work. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of any of these, if you've read any of these Dickens or any of the Eliots. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and just let me know your thoughts. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.